welcome to another edition of the Weekly Rant. My name is Jesper, Anker, and I'm joined by Julian and Bobson. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
Hi.
How can you say hi to... How are you doing and you say hi? I know it's kind of like a greeting in the America, in the United States, but normally it's like, how do you feel? Hi. No. You're not feeling me, guys?
It's the Weekly Rant.
You're not...
Yeah, I'm not really, it's too early in the morning for me to have
tradition.
emotions yet. So it's like,
It's too late for me.
I know, I think next week, Bob, you're doing the intro, and you'll see how it feels to be on the other side when you're asking a question and you get reply with, hi. Hi. Yeah, it doesn't feel good, right? Let's move on to the topic. In this last week, the Santa's Tour Down Under, the first Pro Tour race of the season, has been going on. And the very first stage was from Tenuta to Campbelltown, where we saw Jack Bobridge take the stage win in the ochre jersey. Julian Chu, why don't you run us through the stage?
This stage was a stage that the breakaway won, and Jack Bobridge went in the break along with Louis Wescher, Luke Durbridge, and Maxim Balkov. All of them were really, really strong time trial riders and just flat engines. They're just flat out riders, and a group that worked together really well. And they never really gave up because they only got 2 minutes maximum. I can remember only 2 minutes max they got, and when you see that, you never think a breakaway will stand. They're out there all day, and they won. And I don't think there was the best cooperation in the break, because there was like hills here and teams didn't want to work here and there. Sky were the only ones pacing. They were only pacing for GC, not a stage win. So we saw that, and then it's funny. There was like, I think 5Ks, or there was about 8Ks to go. It was 30 seconds, and then 5Ks to go. It went up to 50 seconds. So they actually breakaway gained seconds during the final Ks, and that was pretty much it. Peloton did come back, but Bobridge was the quickest in the sprint. There wasn't much time gaps, and Bobridge, it was an amazing ride by him as well. We can see he's in good touch and ready for the hour record.
It's also worth mentioning that Kittle's team, Giant Occupant, didn't do anything. We predicted that in the race preview. If you watched our 30-minute long race preview, you would have known that we said that Marcel Kittle might win the People's Choice Classic, but he's got a record of doing absolutely nothing in the Santa's Tour Down Under, and once again he proved to do absolutely nothing in Santa's Tour Down Under. So if you picked him for your Velo Games team or backed him at any betting site, you're an idiot. You should have listened to the 3-0.
He can do something tomorrow. By the way, we're recording this before the Adelaide stage, so when you're listening to this, he could probably win. Most likely win.
He'll most likely win.
most likely.
He'll most likely win.
It's just like a criterion, basically. I don't see him losing that.
No. I don't know, man. It's Adelaide. It's one of those really tough, undecided. You don't know how it's going to turn out.
One of the guys who could beat him is Lobato, and Lobato won the second stage. Why don't you run us through this one, Bob?
Well, basically, it was one of those little type medium, don't know if it's going to end up being too selective for the sprinters type stage. As you can see on the profile, it was hilly, but not really hilly. So you saw in the end a lot of the GC guys and punchers getting organized, and a lot of them went off. Garmin controlled it for a really long time, but then they left Nathan Haas on the front with like 450 meters to go. And Haas sprinted with 450 meters to go, so he died in the end, obviously. But everyone was kind of just doing little attacks, and then Lobato just stormed past them. Like, if you saw the GIF, like, everybody's kind of just like sprinting together, and then Lobato just comes from like 20 riders behind and just blows everyone away. It was a tremendous sprint.
Yeah, and I actually thought Daryl Impey had that stage. It looked like he had it in the back, and he got caught in the line. That must have sucked for Orica Greenedge, because they haven't gotten a stage win yet in this tour, and they're really aiming for it with Simon Gerrans out. And also mentioning Daryl Impey in the race preview once again. We mentioned Daryl Impey. We also mentioned Tom Dumoulin in 4th place, so we did something right in the race preview, guys. I'm very proud of you guys. Except for Daryl Impey, you guys can go do something with yourself.
Impey has the best lead out he'll ever get from Nathan Haas. That was amazing lead out Nathan Haas. Perfect teammate work, and Impey just couldn't finish it off. I'm just saying he's not good enough to win the stage.
Yeah, if he was actually good enough, would he have lost? No.
See, Nathan Haas, though, he messed up because he had Daryl Impey's wheel. Because I think it was Hishida who let him off at Impey's wheel, and he just should have stayed on Impey's wheel. But then somebody came back from Garmin, or Canadel Garmin, and Nathan Haas just rocketed with him, and just went for a 450 sprint.
Yeah, when Hishida came back,
yeah,
Haas was just like, yes, this is my lead out with 500 meters.
He got baited into losing the stage. That's horrible. I mean, that's just bad teamwork.
I can say Nathan Haas's lead out was just as good as Colin DeCourt's lead out from the People's Choice Classic. Very similar.
And you're referring to Nathan Haas's lead out for Daryl Impey, not Hesjedal's lead out.
Yes.
But also, I read a very good tweet on Twitter from Cycling Mo. He said the reason Daryl Impey lost is because he didn't have Daryl Impey on his team. Because Daryl Impey is a really good lead-up man, but he's not a good sprinter. His best lead-up man was Simon Clark, and Simon Clark is a good climber, but he doesn't have the kick to lead somebody out. And that just got proven right here. Daryl Impey was fast, but just not in the right position, just not fast enough, and Lobato in the end took over him. The third stage, the stage to Paracomba, a really good stage that saw a surprise winner, was Rohan Dennis. Chu, I think you deserve to run through this one. That's a really good stage.
This was a stage where it was flat. Throughout the stage, it wasn't necessarily flat. There was a lot of ups and downs, but nothing strong enough or difficult enough to drop the riders. And the final K was a 1 kilometer wall. It was steep. Average 9% section of it was 25% at the start. It was an interesting sprint, interesting climb because it definitely wasn't long enough to be for the pure climbers, and it's interesting. And a group went Cadell, Port, I believe Positive Evo was in there, and who was it? There was one more, Dumoulin.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got caught because they were trying to attack each other, and obviously the peloton riding at a much better tempo caught up to him, and Rowan Dennis out of nowhere just tore it apart, and no one could match his attack. So we saw Positive Evo try to follow, it didn't happen. But what I thought interesting was heading into the stage, apparently Rowan Dennis was supposed to actually attack at the bottom of the climb and cause reaction by Port, so Evans could take Port's wheel. But apparently Dennis was too far behind at the start, and that was really important. The 5 foot positioning was the key factor heading into the foot of that climb.
Bob, how do you think Evans reacted when he saw Rohan Dennis win the stage? Because this is Evans' second to last race. He's got this race and then the Cadel Evans Ocean Sea Classic thingy. How do you think Evans reacted when he did not win the race, really? Rohan Dennis won it.
I think that he should be happy for his teammate and countryman and his protege, and because he was never going to win because he is not good.
Well, he helped Rowan Dennis, in fact, today.
Yeah, and he helped him in the longest stage later on.
He helped him. Yeah.
But I think in the past, Cadel Evans' ego has gotten in the way of his thinking. Because the reason I don't like Cadel Evans is because all the interviews he's been in, he seemed like a complete jerk. There was a guy who touched him and yo, don't touch me. That's a really good interview. There's another one where he said,
that was when you had a broken collarbone, by the way.
Yeah, but stop. You don't freak out like that. You gotta stay professional at all times. So we'll also discuss that later on with Mark Cavendish because he had a really good quote in a press conference in the Tour de St. Louis. But Cadel Evans is just a jerk, and I hope that he's giving some credit to Rohan Dennis because if he's got a grudge on Rohan Dennis, that would not be fun. Let's move on. I think we should skip stage 4 because it's basically a sprint stage that was caused by a crash, and then Steele Van Hoff managed to win the stage in front of Dale Impey. Once again, Dale Impey, a very solid pick for your Velo Games team. Let's move on to stage 5, Valonga Hill, the legendary climb of Santos Tour Down Under. Chu, you want to run through this one?
Sure. This stage was very interesting. It was obviously the big stage that was going to decide it, and heading into that Valonga, they go for it twice, by the way. Heading into that last climb, there was strong crosswinds all over. Astana, led by Lars Boom, the legend, and he caused a split in the peloton. It was a really interesting split because it had the whole Astana team and just Rowan Dennis and Cadell Evans in it. So the question was whether Cadell and Rowan Dennis should have paced. Now both of them did pace, and a lot of people criticize them right now. That could have been the reason that led to their performance. Because at the back, Richie Port wasn't in it, and he only had teammates pacing, and Evans and Rowan Dennis were expending energy. So there's a question mark there. But the best climber will win at the end of the day, and they headed up Wollonga and Richie Port just tore it apart. This climb suited him much more than was it stage 3, and we saw that it happened last year because Port lost to Evans at Corkscrew, and then Wollonga he ended up beating Evans and Gerrans as well. So again, Port wins it 2 years in a row, but after bonus seconds, Rowan Dennis just had it by 2 seconds. So
Now I want to ask
it was
Bob.
kind of close.
Let me move this on to Bob. Bob, last year Richie Porte lost by 1 second to Simon Gerrans. This year it looks to be he's going to look like he's going to lose by 2 seconds to Ron Dennis. What is Sky thinking? He's obviously the strongest rider in this tour, in this race. Last year he lost by 1 second. Why have they not learned their lesson?
Well, I mean, there's really... It all comes down to the racing, really, and if there's just... Sky... I mean, he set the record on Wollongai Hill. Like, Port is strong enough, whether it be due to performance-enhancing drugs or not, but it is. But anyway, he's strong enough. It's just that they can't seem to get down the proper tactics, and I think that Evans and Dennis definitely had an advantage this year by being two of the strongest guys and working in tandem.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
You know, I also think this race is also won by like 1 second or two, and that's bonus seconds half the time. And it's really hard to win on this stage race because there's like bonus seconds. Generally, when you win, it's only by a second or two, so it's really tough. Like every tiny thing counts. Like if you think a sprint doesn't count, like Dumoulin didn't sprint on stage 3, and Evans just came around and got second place, which is a couple bonus seconds here and there. And those really changed the race after all, and that's why you see a lot of riders win by like a tiny margin at this stage every year.
Fun fact, Cadel Evans got third, 20 seconds behind, and Tom Dumoulin was 22 seconds behind. So those 3 seconds is a matter of third and fourth, and the matter of podium and not podiuming. And it's small things like that that makes Cadel Evans a better cyclist than Tom Dumoulin as of this moment. But Cadel Evans is also retiring, so there's room to improve in that one too, I guess. Stage 6 and the final stage, the Adelaide stage, where we touched on just before. Bob, I believe you said it was a criterion basically, and Kittel is going to win this. If Kittel doesn't win this, are you looking to Lobato or any other riders?
Lobato.
Why?
Just because he showed how fast he can be. And he's obviously strong sprinters shouldn't make any difference on this, but he still just showed that he has a huge acceleration.
But how about the lead out though? Because there are other teams like Orica that's going to be doing their best to lead out Daryl Impey. Isn't that going to matter? Because Lobato doesn't have a lead out.
Yeah. I think it's all going to come down to who's positioned the best. I don't think it's going to be who's going to be the quickest, because if you've seen every single stage, there's always a person who sprints too early this year and gives it away. Even at the People's Choice Classic, Kittel kind of didn't time it that well and nearly gave it away. So again, we can see it today again. Like if like Stilvan Hoff got a perfect lead out by Walter Whippet, that's again the guy going too early. So we can, with all the sprinters that close in like skill level or speed, it's going to come down to positioning, I think. And maybe Movistar do have the best team to put Lobato in a good position. They don't need the best lead up, but they can put a good team around him to put him right there when they need him.
See, I beg to differ though. I beg to differ because the Adelaide stage, you see the finishing straight, it's just straight. There's only one turn. It's like, what, a kilometer before the end? So I really beg to differ. I think raw speed is going to determine who wins. I don't think that the lead out is going to matter that much. Because like positioning only really matters when there's a lot of turns and the finish is technical.
Yeah.
This time it's just straight. Like you just ride your bicycle this way, not this way, but this way. So I think Lobato, Kittel, yes. Any other? No. Kittel wins it or he doesn't. That's up to him. Like, if he does sprint, he wins it. If he doesn't, Lobato wins it. That's what I'm looking at. So that was Santos Tour Down Under. It's a very interesting stage, and it was a good way to kick off the season. It was a surprise winner in Rohan Dennis. Actually, surprise winner. It's not even over yet. Richie Porte could actually take it. Do you guys think we're going to see Richie Porte trying to go for the 3 bonus seconds at either the intermediate sprint?
No. It's like Beijing last year where Dan Martin was behind by a couple of seconds. It's like, just let it go, The racing's over.
We can see how desperate they really are. But again, I thought Evans would have gone for it last year. Evans didn't go for a sprint. I was gearing up for Adelaide stage. I got to chair early to watch the early half of the stage, and nothing happened. Didn't even lead him out. Like, okay, sure.
Well, why don't they try? Is it bad manners or what is it? Why don't they try?
I don't think it is. I just think how much the rider really wants it. I think, but it takes a lot from the teammate because there's always a break going, and the teammate's got to pace insane insanely just to get the break back in, and then setting up a lead out train, and then their guy who's not a sprinter has to out sprint someone else. And I think Richie Paul's definitely not as quick as Rowan Dennis on the flats. At least I don't think he is.
No, I guess.
Who knows?
It's probably too difficult. That's it, though. But let's wrap up that sentence to the London. Let's wrap that up. Let's move on to some of the other news that's been this week. Compared to last week, there's also a lot more news this week. First of all, the wildcards to the Giro d'Italia, Tirreno Adriatico, and Milan-San Remo has been released because I believe they're all organized by RCS. Is that it? Oh, I don't. It's RCS, right? I believe it is. It's the same organization for all three races. And I want to discuss the Giro d'Italia, though, because the wildcard for that race was Androni, Bardiani, Nivi Fantini, and CCC Pulse. Oh, also Southwest. Southwest. The only one that really, jumps into my eyes is CCC Pulsat. Bob, do they deserve a spot in the Giro d'Italia?
Absolutely they do, okay? You don't know, but I can tell you right here that Davide Rebellin, he is probably the best. He will win at least 3 stages. That is my prediction. And he's going for top 10, which I think is a very, 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 very extremely modest goal. He can easily do that. I would look for him for a podium, and I think that this was a great wild card to give out because at 43 years old, he's just entering his golden years as a cyclist, and he can really, really show what he has. He hasn't been to the Giro recently. The last time he won a stage was 19 years ago. I get that, okay? But he is still a force to be reckoned with in the mountains and the hills, and I think that he will be one of the most successful riders in the race alone, and that justifies CCC's entry.
Chew, do you agree with Bob's sarcastic comments?
I never said I was being sarcastic.
So they also have Stefan Schumacher. Don't count him out.
He's a great domestique for Rebellin. It's like having Contador and Armstrong on the same team.
I think they also got Sylvester Schmidt as well, who can do something.
It's like having Contador, Armstrong, and Cloden on the same team.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's T-Mobile?
I'm saying that this is basically the dream team.
So it's CCC Pulsar dream team. That's what you're saying.
Yes. It's like Astana 2009, except for the Giro.
Discovery Channel, basically. They had Armstrong, Contador, Levi Leipheimer.
They didn't have Armstrong and Contador at the same time, and that's really the important part about this.
They did.
Yeah.
What?
They did.
Yes, they did. 2009.
That was when Contador was really young. They had them a lot earlier.
2009 was Astana.
2008 then.
2008, Armstrong didn't
ride. They had 2004 or 5. I'm not even lying.
He was on Liberty Seguros then.
No.
Let's figure this out. Pro Cycling Stat to the rescue.
He was with
2006. No.
Because I'm thinking earlier, maybe 2004.
What? You know Ryder Herschel was on Discovery Channel?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That's why they caught him for doping.
You're saying 2004? I see Armstrong. I do not see Contador.
Let me check.
2003.
He was definitely not on it. He was on Liberty Seguros at least until 2004 because of I know that because of Cycling Manager 4. So if he was on it in 2005.
2007. It might be 2000.
Well, Armstrong wasn't riding in 2007, so that doesn't.
Okay,
just
maybe I was
have
thinking
my
about
analogies, guys. You don't need to just fight all of my analogies. Every bit of effort and passion I'm putting into this goes completely out the window the minute we bring Pro Cycling Stats into it, as if you need evidence.
The Bobson fact check right there beats us once again, Chew. How do you feel? You broken? You nervous right now? You're on the spot.
I don't know, because I was thinking of there was someone. It must have been Heshdale, because I was looking at what was it, the Sally's DB from 2004, saying Contador or someone must have been there.
But if you were playing Wipeout, you would have just been wiped out. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Let's move on, guys. Another Italian topic is Diego Lisi has been suspended for 9 months. But this ban took place when he was originally put off. Like, that was back in, July? Last year? It's around there, but
Yeah, something like that.
he'll be back in March this year. So that means he can race in the Ardennes, he can race in the Tour, in the Vuelta, whatever races he wants to do. 9 months for Diego Alesi, is that enough? Like, that's, like, didn't they just instate a 4-year ban unless you admit to it?
You know what? You know what? Diego Ulisi is a filthy, dirty doper. And I don't want to see him anywhere near our sport tainting guys like Rebelin, okay? You know, you're getting these really, really, really genuine guys, and everybody sees our sport as something that cheaters and scoundrels do. But really, it's just him. Like, everyone else is clean, and it's just him, so... But honestly, being completely serious now, 9 months is not enough for him. He should get a 2-year ban just like everyone else.
I agree 100%. Do you agree, Ju?
Sure. I got really confused. I had to read that article like 2 or 3 times over before I got. I'm like, wait, there's a 9-month span from now. Wait, how's he returning in March? But yeah, I got my head around it. Sure, whatever.
Okay, so you, Bob, you just said that everyone in the sport is clean. See, Mark Cavendish got asked the opposite. He got asked if he believed. Well, he actually got asked the exact same thing. Does he believe that 100% of riders in the peloton are clean? And he responded with saying that he responded to this journalist saying, "Do you believe that none of these other journalists in the room are doing something with your wife?" Well, not doing. He replaced that with something else that's not appropriate. Do you believe he should get fined for this? Because in American football, NBA, hockey, other sports, you'd get fined for this, like a big sum. What do you think, Bob? You're American. You're used to this.
Yeah, well, all I've known is that usually if somebody said this at a press conference, it would be on the not top 10 of SportsCenter the next week, and they'd probably have made an auto-tune song about it. But that doesn't make it okay. That just makes it funny. And those aren't the same thing. Mark Cavendish, I get it. You're frustrated that, Gaviria is a better sprinter than you. I get it. I understand that you're mad about you losing your peak performance that you had a couple of years ago. Okay? Probably also lost the peak performance with your wife, which is why you brought this up. Okay? And I get it. But you can't be using that kind of language with the reporters, man. They're just doing their job just like you, except that you weren't doing your job because you lost to Gaviria twice.
Somebody call the fire department. I believe someone in here is on fire, guys. We need somebody to put out the flames. Holy crap. It's a good day to be Bob Bobson, guys. But speaking of that, Fernando Gaviria, I was not going to talk about Tour de St. Louis, but you mentioned it. Fabio Gaviria beat Cavendish twice. And without help from the motorbikes or cars or anything else, helicopters?
Maybe he got like a tow earlier, just like a break.
We just haven't heard of it yet.
Yeah,
we have to wait for them.
Well, I mean, Diaz was towed, so maybe. I don't know.
It wasn't that last year Diaz was actually towed up the mountain? Is that what people
Yeah, well,
said?
I think that probably happened this year, too. Well, we haven't run over anyone yet, so San Luis has been a success so far.
Nobody's died yet, especially Chalifara.
That we
Nobody's punched by an Argentinian guy.
What are you saying, Jew?
They could have been ran over, we just don't know yet. It's not out yet. Hey?
See, the problem is, though, we do have full footage. Like, last year, we only had a guy standing at the finish line being like this, and like talking very excitedly into the microphone when nothing was happening. Or you have me screaming when Peter Stettner was beating Julian Arredondo. That's for you guys out there.
Peter Stettner. Was it Peter Stettner?
No, it was Julian Arredondo.
I want you to know. Was it Peter Stettner?
No, I regret that decision to this day still. I still remember that video probably made me stop doing the commentaries, but I started doing them again now. But that was a hard one because I messed up big time on that one. But this year we actually get full live coverage from St. Louis, and I think people need to give St. Louis some credit because the coverage might be bad, but at least you get coverage. I mean, some other races don't even have coverage, like 2 of Qatar,
Yeah.
2 of Oman.
You know, what's funny is last year this time we had a genuine conversation which race was better between Tour Down Under and San Luis, and people kept telling me San Luis was better because they got better riders and all that stuff.
And the mountains, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
That's the only thing,
Better
honestly.
climbs. Better climbs. Oh, Joaquin Rodriguez was there. Quintana was there. Must be a better
Honestly,
stage.
though, if you see what people talk about on Twitter and Facebook, they talk more about St. Louis than San Tour Down Under due to the bad coverage and the upsets. Like, Cavendish losing twice got people thinking, who the hell is this Gaviria guy? I mean,
Well,
I think it's equal still. Still, racing-wise,
No,
it's equal.
San Luis is making all your money. I don't know about you. Where are you going?
What are you saying, Bob?
The thing I think about San Luis is that they have coverage, okay, and sure they show you the race for not just the finish line, but honestly, the coverage is so bad that watching it annoys me because I want okay coverage and they're not giving it, and so watching it annoys me so much that I almost don't want to watch it because it's worse. Like I'd rather not watch it just because the coverage is so bad. I'd rather they just got rid of this race and like made a new race in like Colombia or Chile or something. I don't know. Okay,
They do have those races though. They do have races in Colombia and Chile. Like, why do you want another race in Colombia or Chile?
because apparently Argentina is not an okay thing at all in any way. In any way, a country is not okay. The, you know what? The alcohol is probably bad. You know, the women.
Hey, you're not
they
even
have
old
to-
enough to drink alcohol. How would you know?
Well, I'm just guessing based on textual and
Where's your facts?
visual
Where's the
evidence.
Bobson fact check? We need
It's
it right
called
here.
context clues. You can see that the context clues because if everybody involved in this race is bad, you can assume that pretty much everything is bad. It's just like if 100% of the test group is bad, you can assume that 100% of everything is bad.
So if you say like Lance Armstrong doped for 7 years and every American doped those 7 years, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that if every American, if every American
Yes.
doped one
I hear you.
year, you can assume that they all doped every year in that 7 years.
So all Americans are cheats, is what you're saying.
Not
Yeah,
Greg
let's
LeMond.
move on to the next one. Next topic. Speaking of cheats, we have Team Sky's former doctor, Geert the Linders, got caught for possessing and trafficking drugs, also known as EPO and stuff like that. And he got banned for life now. And this sparked the conversation once again. Sky hate. I know, like, if you're on PCM Daily, another forum, the hate rate is just going out of control. I know Bob is also very active in there. So, Bob, why don't you run us through this? Why is it so big news that the former Sky doctor gets caught?
Because he was the guy that everybody said was just giving them training methods and just he was their missing link, that he had so much that he could do to just help them, you know, win races via hard work and healthy training. And like, no, because if he's doping, they're doping. But people don't seem to think that. I see people on Daily being more like, yeah, but there's no evidence of what he did, so they're not going to do anything. You know, type thing.
Wait, he got banned for life without evidence?
He got banned for evidence of him doing it when he was at Rabobank.
Oh, so like Michael Rasmussen days.
Yeah.
Oh, those days sucked.
So there's no proof that he did it at Sky. Even though the minute he went to Sky, all of their riders got much better.
But he left now, didn't he?
Yeah, he left last
After Froome won the Tour de France.
Oh,
Yeah.
And haven't won anything since. Believe it or not.
that's 1 year.
Yeah. So he left
Just putting
after
things together.
the 2 Tour de France wins. What does this tell you?
What did you
Son?
call it? The context conclusion, or what did you say?
Context clues. This
Yeah.
is we learned about this in school in like 5th grade, and I remember this. See, things are useful from school because I can remember the context clues hint towards the greater theme, and the greater theme here is that Sky are a bunch of dirty, filthy bastards who do a lot of drugs.
Wait, you actually passed 5th grade?
Yes.
Okay. I was just gonna make sure. I think all this dope talk, it comes around. It's not the last time we talked about it. It's not the first time we talked about it either. And I hope to God the Sky does not get caught. If Sky gets caught, okay. If Sky gets caught, the sport goes from up here to all the way down here, like this. It's this far. I'm not gonna move because you can see all my trash behind me. But imagine all the way down there.
I hope that they get caught so that everyone can see this sport for the true filth it is, and then everybody will leave. I'll be the only fan, and anybody
What
who's
else?
left will have to come to me directly
What do you think,
for
Gio?
all their cycling knowledge.
That's exactly what happened at Lance Armstrong's era. Is this happening then?
It
And
destroyed
people still watch the sport now.
No, in Germany
People
they
still
completely
watch it.
boycotted the sport. And that's a big country.
Yeah, I know. But
In Germany, a lot of things happened in Germany over the past century. So you know what?
It's kind of funny
Germany
how
still-
due to
is
doping
great.
they boycotted cycling, but due to like Nazis they didn't boycott Jewish hate.
No, they didn't boycott it. They just They just got rid.
Yeah.
This is turning into the racial episode.
They just ended it. They when see. Think about this.
Let's
Think
move
about
on,
it.
guys. I think we should move
They
on
could
from
have
this
just
topic.
ended cycling. They could have gone in with their Panzers and ended cycling, just run over all the cyclists. But they
It's
didn't.
not Argentina, though. Let's move on.
True.
Okay, so we got some hour records coming up soon. They're trying to beat Matthias Brandel's record, which I believe is the one currently set, right? There's so many people doing it, I can't remember who's got it. But the guys doing it are Alex Dowsett, Jaggy Bobridge, and Rohan Dennis. All three in good shape, except for Alex Dowsett, who just broke his collarbone, so he postponed his hour record. But Bobridge versus Rohan Dennis. Chu, who do you think is faster and why?
I'm leaning towards Bobridge. I think he's a better time trialist than Rowan Dennis. Oh, sure, Rowan Dennis is better time trialing. He's got better results, but Jack Bobridge, people don't know he's a really superb rider on the velodrome. He is the world record holder for the individual pursuit, so he does have. They reckon that this record's never ever going to be broken ever again. So
Wiggins?
no, Bobridge is
Yeah, I know, but Wiggins is up
velodrome. Yeah, but the velodrome record for the individual pursuit that's apparently not going to be broken ever again. So I back Bobridge. I think I really think he's going to get it. And then Wiggins will just come and take it. Yeah, whatever.
That was what I was meaning.
Sure.
Do you agree, Bob? Do you think that Bobridge is faster than Rohan?
No, I think that Rohan is faster than Bobridge. As you can clearly see by our context clues again, you see these come into play very often, and you learn this. But if you go to 2014 World Individual Time Trial Championships, oh look, Rowan Dennis was 5th place.
2013,
Ain't matter,
you say?
man.
14.
These results won't
And if
matter.
you look it up, now let's go to Bobridge. Let's go Bobridge.
What'd you say, Bobridge?
Bobridge.
Let's
whatever.
go, Bobridge. Hey, you corrected me last time in the race preview with
Yeah,
Nick
because you
Haas.
called him Nathaniel Hayes.
Yeah, well, you called him Bobridge. Where's the B? There's another B. It's Bobridge.
That doesn't even make sense because you just changed the O. You didn't change a B.
Your
Here we go.
American is not fair.
Okay, either way, if you look now at Jack Bobridge,
It ain't matter. At the end of the day, they're not
No.
riding on the road. There's no wind.
I'm gonna
There's...
call. I want you to look at the National Australian Individual Time Trial Championship for this year, and I want you to see who is second. Dennis, who was third. Bobridge.
Why don't we put a bet on this?
Oh, we should. We should. Are you up
I
for
would
putting a bet
bet-
on this?
All
Put
my
your money.
revenue, I will bet all my PCM dollars.
Sure.
All your PCM dollars. So, okay, guys,
I don't have
it's
any.
coming good.
I don't have many.
I have
to-
Definitely.
135. So
We have a better. No, I think we need something better. Okay, you guys in the comment section below, figure out what they should be betting about, because I don't think PCM dollars is a good betting. I don't even think you guys know what it is. So, Bob, you say Rohan Dennis. Chu says Jaggy Bobridge, as Bob would say it.
why are you calling him Jackie? Jackie Robinson? He's not even black.
Oh, his nickname is Jackie. His name is Jack, but it's Jaggy. Okay, so you guys in the comment section below, or in the forum, or whenever you're watching this on SoundCloud, put down what you think they should be betting about. Put something on there. Maybe something they should do in the regular end, like sing a course or something, or who knows.
That ain't happening.
Maybe you could
That
bet.
could happen.
See, it could be fun, guys. So put below what they should be betting about, and put also who you think is going to win that one. The last topic that we're going to be discussing real quick is Sammy Sanchez is finally back with BMC. He's been around driving some mountain bike and some cyclocross, but he's now back at BMC, and I think it's deserved. He's a former Olympic champion, and he deserves the place. Do you guys agree with me?
Absolutely. I think that he showed last year at the Vuelta that he's not completely washed up. He got like 6th in the Vuelta, so he's still a good signing, even as he gets older. And I think that he will definitely help BMC in a way that a guy like Cadell Evans wouldn't.
Do you agree, Chu?
Sure. Well, Cadell has been doing more than Sanchez the last couple
Well,
of years.
Cadell-
What race you're watching?
Cadell,
I don't recall the last time Sanchez got
73
a
years
top
old,
3 out of
so-
the Grand Tour.
but Cadell is 73 years old, so
I think Cadell's younger than Sanchez.
Sanchez is 36.
Cadell's probably
And
37.
Evans is like 37, right? Yeah, he's 37. Evans is older.
I think.
Evans is done, but Horner is not. Horner's still riding strong. Come back next
They
episode.
got 43 years old. Evans is going to make a comeback.
Okay,
43 years old, win the Walter.
I'm telling you right now, Rebelin, okay? 43 is the new 23, and 23 is the new 23. And so you basically got a bunch of 23-year-olds riding bikes in this peloton. And so it doesn't really matter about the age anymore, because everyone is 23 because of that.
On that note, guys, turn back next episode when we when we figure out who won the Velo Games League for Santa's 2 and Under. I believe it's like D-Lego or something that's leading right now on the forum. So let's see if you keep it. I'm coming strong though. I got Richie Port and you don't, so I might win it in front of you. Let's see if Richie Port wins the race with bonus seconds. Probably won't happen, but I hope so, because then I beat you. But turn back next episode to see what happened in the Velo Games. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope this is the last time you ever heard of BBL's or Bob's context clues, because...
Oh, believe me, they're the new feature of this rant.